Welcome back, my dear listeners, to another eerie episode of Murder with Mike, where we're exploring the cold and unsolved cases that still haunt the shadows of history. Tonight, we're traveling to the quiet town of Bentonville, Arkansas, where the ghost of a tragic Halloween night in 1995 still lingers. This is the story of Ernestine Andreg, a woman whose life was cruelly snuffed out on a night that's meant for fun and games. So let's dim the lights and turn the clock back, shall we? Picture this: October 31st, 1995. The air is crisp, leaves are rustling under the feet of costumed children as they roam the streets. The laughter is echoing through the neighborhood. Halloween night, a time for fun and fear in equal measure. But in one house, the only sounds were the final moments of a life about to be taken. That house belonged to 72-year-old Ernestine Andreg. Ernestine was a well-loved member of her community, known for her kindness and her love for the holidays. She had spent the evening handing out treats to the trick-or-treaters that knocked on her door. But little did she know that the sweetness of the night would soon turn sour with the bitter taste of death. Now, the details of what happened that night are as chilling as the autumn wind. Someone, for whatever reasons we may never fully understand, decided to play the ultimate trick on the unexpected grandmother. This was a heinous crime, and it would shake the very foundation of her quiet neighborhood and leave a stain on Halloween that had never quite left. According to reports, there was no sign of a break-in, no struggle, and no indication that anything was amiss before the unthinkable happened. The house was meticulously kept, a reflection of Ernestine's orderly life. Yet somehow, in the shadows, a killer waited, poised to strike. Was it someone she knew? A neighbor, maybe? Or a stranger hiding behind the anonymity of a Halloween costume? The night grew late, and the trick-or-treaters died down. Perhaps she may have been feeling a bit lonely, a bit tired, but also a bit satisfied with the joy she had brought to the local children. As the clock chimed, signaling the end of the festivities, she might have thought she was safe. But poor Ernestine was wrong. The following morning, her body was found in her living room. A single shot wound to the head. The murder weapon? Nowhere to be found. This scene was eerily clean, almost as if the killer had wiped away any evidence of their presence. Was this a professional job, or just a cold-hearted opportunist who had seen their chance? Former Bentonville Police Chief Bob Boffey described the case as particularly heinous. He was quoted as saying, "We were fortunate to have little violent crime in Bentonville, but this was something else. She was a totally innocent victim in her own home." And indeed, this was a crime that shook the town to its very core, leaving a question that still echoes through the years. Who could have done such a thing? The investigation into Ernestine's murder began immediately. The police canvassed the area, speaking to neighbors and collecting any information they could find. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, the trail grew cold. Despite their best efforts, the killer remained at large. 14 years later, in 2009, the case was reopened. Detectives pored over old evidence, hoping that advancements in technology might shed new light on this dark mystery. But even with the passage of time, the case still remains unsolved. So as the years have marched on, the memory of Ernestine has not been forgotten. Her family, her friends, and the community she touched all hope for justice. And the Bentonville Police Department is still asking for your help. If anyone you know or you have information, no matter how small, that could lead to the catch of this killer, please come forward. And always remember, y'all, this story serves as a stark reminder that even in the safest of places, evil can still lurk in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And until that moment is brought into the light of truth, the spirit of Ernestine remains in limbo, her killer still at large. So if you or someone you know has any information about the murder of Ernestine, please contact the Bentonville Police Department. Every detail, no matter how insignificant it may seem, could be the piece that cracks this case wide open. As always, thank you all for joining me on this heart-wrenching journey. Remember, my friends, to keep your doors locked, your eyes wide open, and your hearts full of hope that one day every story of senseless murder will have that ending that brings peace to the souls of the departed and their loved ones that are left behind. Until next time, good night and stay safe, y'all.